Welcome to Radio MVP, episode number 32 of the Sports Podcast. I'm Tim Continenza, and joining me today, of course, is Anthony Kepley and Matt Emch, as we have a full house going, and we're going to have a lot to discuss. It's been about a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer since we last did a podcast. Everybody knows our schedules right now are tough to synchronize. I have basketball and work and family issues, and same with Anthony. He has some work issues and doing other things. And Matt just finished up, I think, the radio show. So we'll talk about that too, Matt. And so we're just happy to be all together here on this Wednesday evening. I couldn't even remember what day of the week it was there for a second. But hey, you know what? There's a lot to get to, and let's just dive right into it. Obviously, I'm going to let Anthony start us off here because he's passionate about this, and it came to no surprise to any Indian fan over the last few years. It's been pretty much known that Chief Wahoo was going to go away one day soon, and it happened to be announced just about a week or so ago. And 2018 is the last year of Chief Wahoo as a logo for the Cleveland Indians. And my good friend and partner here, Anthony, very passionate about Chief Wahoo. So let me give you the floor, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, obviously it's very personal to me, being a diehard Indians fan, as everybody knows. I bleed Chief Wahoo red, white, and blue. So it's not a surprise to me because you knew it was coming with the increased protests and the increased talks the Dolans have had with Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred. My personal opinion, I don't believe it's racist in any way. I don't believe it is not intended to or to cause harm or to make fun of anyone. But I can understand why you want to move away from it. They've started to gradually, the past couple of years, the block C becoming more prevalent. Much I hate that letter. I grew up with the Chief Wahoo as my logo, and Chief Wahoo to me doesn't symbolize racism. It doesn't symbolize hate or any derogatory remarks or symbolic gestures. To me, it symbolizes the 1990s and the numerous comebacks. Jim Thome hitting moonshots on the Eagle Avenue, or Vizquel dazzling with his glove and turning double plays. My buddy Jose Mesa putting us on the edge of our seats, but at the end of the day, getting the job done. It means 2 World Series appearances and losing in excruciating fashion. So I'm disappointed to see Chief Wahoo go away. But at the end of the day, if Corey Kluber's on the mound in October in Game 7 of the ALCS, I don't give a crap if he's wearing pink and purple polka-dotted slider costumes. If we win, that's all that matters. So, it's a shame Chief Wahoo's going away after this year off the uniforms. But you had to expect it was coming. So it's not like a big shock. It's more sentimental to get over, but at the end of the day, let's just win, baby. Like Al Davis said, let's just win, baby. So those are my thoughts on Chief Wahoo. I'll be sad when he's not in the uniform anymore, but I'm still not gonna. I'm not gonna stop following him, or I'm not gonna. Let's just win. Let's just win. So,
Matt, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of anger on both sides. We live in a time of, political correctness, so to speak, and everybody is, I think, overly sensitive objects. I agree with Anthony. I don't think, there is any malice or intent to have prejudice or racism with the caricature. We have had, the issue of our Native American brethren being upset about, the Washington Redskins logo for years. And you got to wonder, is that the next one that takes a shot from it? As long as Daniel Snyder is the owner, he said he'll never get rid of it. But, it just seems like you have enough people out there that disagree with it. It's negative press for a professional team, and they depend on their livelihood of, keeping their fans happy and into, their team. I personally think, the Chief forever. I cannot imagine the Indians without that logo on a hat and anything else Cleveland Indian connected. But looking at the other side of things, I do get what some people are upset about. I do understand, the people that are protesting and that are actually Native American and of that heritage. I have been really trying to understand that point of view. I don't know. It's sad to see it go, but it is what it is. It's going. And, I have one question, though, for you guys. I've been aware of Chief Wahoo going away. Are they changing their name as well from Cleveland Indians, or are they staying the Indians?
They're staying the Cleveland Indians. They're just doing away with the logo of the character of Chief Wahoo, who has actually had like 2 or 3 different type of looks throughout the history of the logo. It started in 1947, my understandings, and it will run through 2018. So when you look at it, it's 70 plus years of a logo for a team that has dates back to the beginning of the American League. So I mean, there was obviously a period prior, from 1902 or 1903, whatever, 1901, I think the American League began, up until 1946. They never did have a logo. They just had the C, the block C, and stuff like that. So I mean, teams go through changes. I'll say this. This has been an effort for the Indians organization going back to the days of Jacobs Field opening. If you remember going back to the days of the old Municipal Stadium when they were still there, they had the last change in the logo prior to coming to Jacobs Field. They had the swinging bat Chief Wahoo in the middle of a baseball type thing. And it was a great logo back in the day, in the 70s and in the 80s. And then it came more just the face of Chief Wahoo that we've seen on the Indians hats and on the sleeves the last few years. My thought, when they moved over to Jacobs Field, they went to the Script Indians, which I absolutely love. I think that is their logo, in my opinion, and has been their primary logo for the last 20, 25 years. And Chief Wahoo has been diminished over that time period. Now, he still had a prominent part of the Indians uniform, obviously being on the baseball cap and also on the sleeve. And we've seen the Indians try, I want to say about 7-8 years ago, to try to get away from Chief Wahoo when they went to the Script I, when they had the sleeveless uniforms, which I actually hated those uniforms with all passion. I thought they just looked like pajamas. But the Script I just didn't make a lot of sense to me, and it didn't sell well. And I think the Indians, that's why they dropped that right away and went back to Chief Wahoo, and they brought in the block C after that. You can see the Indians moving away. Look, it had to happen. Everything has a timeline in life. We all have timelines in our own lives. And even as a logo, it's not going to be everlasting. And that's the way I looked at it. And is it racist? I can understand that point of view. I don't think that makes you or I or any Indian fan racist for buying the hat, supporting the team, and being an Indian fan. I definitely understand the point of view where someone may say, that is supposed to represent Native Americans, and it has no bearing on what Native Americans are. And I can accept that. And I accept that fully. Look, we've seen, 2 years ago, the Indians make the ALCS against Toronto and their court system having to deal with it up in Canada. And they have different laws than we do here. And, they have, obviously it was struck down and said the Indians could wear the hat and all that and the emblem. But you could see then that the days were numbered for Chief Wahoo. And I have no problem with it. I'm actually thrilled that it's going away. In my opinion, they made the right decision. It took a while to get there. I think the Dolans were very sensitive to this idea from the very beginning, and they wanted to figure out the best way to do it. And having Major League Baseball kind of lead the way takes the pressures off the Dolans for making the change and saying it was a joint effort between the ball club and Major League Baseball to make this move. And I think it's a good thing. Look, everything has a time and a period and a place in history, and Chief Wahoo will always be part of the Cleveland Indians history. But to move forward without it and possibly find a new logo in the future that's more baseball oriented, I have no problem with it. Or more Cleveland oriented, I absolutely love that idea. I think those are good things because this, like we mentioned before, this ball club dates back to like 1901, the beginning of the American League. One time they were the Cleveland Naps. One time they were the Cleveland Spiders, in the National League. So it goes way back. So things happen, things change. I'm happy. I actually, thought this was going to come soon. I didn't know exactly when. I've been hearing rumors over the last couple of years, and I think what happened in Toronto expedited it, especially with the Indians now being contenders for a World Series, and to be able to go out and flash and the Indians organization be able to hold on to his trademark is all important things that had to be negotiated. And I'm happy for the city of Cleveland, for those who are offended for it and those who love the Indians, because I still say, to me, the script Indians has always been my favorite logo of the Cleveland Indians. I just love that look across the chest. And the block C is not my favorite. I agree with you, Anthony. I can live with it. It's not the best. I think the 70s C that had kind of a
yep.
I'm not sure what type of font you would call that. That is a more attractive logo, but time will tell. I've seen someone create one where there is a feather in the sea, which is a really cool look. I don't know.
I like that.
If they can actually get. I don't know if they can actually get that and trademark it and be their own, because probably somebody else has already has a trademark on it and they're not going to pay for it. You know how that works in sports, but anything's possible. You got to remember, Chief Wahoo came about because of a contest.
Yep.
Bill Veeck wanted a new logo, and he had a contest, and that's how Chief Wahoo was invented. Somebody sent it into the Plain Dealer, and it was selected, as the winner. And and that happens a lot in sports, and you never know, it may happen again. But I'm kind of on the fence more that I guess I came to realization in the last 4 to 5 years and in the last 25 years that it was going to go away. So I was more prepared for it. I didn't find it offensive that the Indians made this move. I thought it was progressive and needed to be happen. And I'm thrilled that, they're moving forward. Look, it's good to have one last run. Let's see if they can win another World Series with it this year. And we'll be talking baseball here in a week because pitchers and catchers report.
That's
phenomenal.
Exactly what I was just going to say, Tim. Run from it. Go for it. Let's get a World Series the last year I have in Wahoo. I love it. I hope they could do that.
It's what's fun about baseball, in my opinion. Spring training, for me here, over the years, you look outside, it's snowing, and, we got that 4 or 5 inches today and all that, that snowy, crappy weather that we got to deal with. And all of a sudden you hear about the Indians pitchers and catchers report in Arizona. You see on TV, on the reports and on STO and everything else. And it gets you thinking about spring. And, the next 8 weeks are not that far away. They come quickly. And then when they start playing the exhibition games here in about 3 weeks, it just makes it go even much faster. So it's, to me, it's just a way to move the year along. So I'm excited about just baseball being back here within the next week.
Yeah, it's going to be great to have baseball back. Exactly a week from today, pitchers and catchers report, and then 16 days from now, who says I'm not counting down, the Cactus League opener, which is a big one. We got to start off 1-0 in this meaningful league against the Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds.
That's right. That's right. There it is.
Our stablemate. There we go. Our stablemates in
I think that's cool.
Arizona. Exactly. So
yeah, it's gonna be nice to have baseball back. Period. I mean,
it will be. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But as we get ready to say hello to baseball, we get to say goodbye to one of our finest times of the year that goes through the fall and into the winter, and that's the NFL and football in general. Matt and I had a great season together. Our first year were on Z104 doing high school football, and that, I hate saying it seems like forever ago, Matt. Mm-hmm. And I know it was only in November, but boy, it seems it was a year ago already.
Yeah, it went really fast, and it's always sad for your football diehards when the Super Bowl is over, because now with the Pro Bowl being the week before the Super Bowl, that's it. It used to be Super Bowl, then at least you had the Pro Bowl to look forward to. Well, that's it. It's over. So the only thing we can basically do at the moment is, seeing what kids go to what colleges. I'm happy to say, all those good recruits Ohio State has been landing, grabbing that #1 offensive tackle in high school. But, ending the year with that Super Bowl, even though my Steelers didn't make it, I loved it. It was an amazing game, one of the best, I think, in history. I was extremely pumped for the Eagles. I actually called a week ago on my show. Mark and I were talking, and we said, who do you pick? And he picked the Pats, and I said, I'm going with my gut. I'm going with the Eagles. And man, it was nice to see, somebody not afraid of the Patriots.
With the Eagles, I don't believe me one bit. They were phenomenal.
Yeah, they were great, and it was. So, and there were so many amazing plays in that game, and it'll just go down as one of the best Super Bowls, in history. And you got to look at Doug Peterson and the calls he made, how ballsy they were. He did what the Atlanta Falcons did not do last year. The Philadelphia Eagles played to win the game. Last year, the Falcons lost because they were playing the second half not to lose. So, it was nice seeing it. It was nice seeing, the Patriots go for the fake pass to Brady. He dropped it. Philly run it with Foles, and Foles caught it for a touchdown. The strip for the fumble over Brady. Chris Collinsworth said somebody needs to step up and make a play. That's a sign of a championship team, and they sure did. And they held them out, and they did a great job. So what a way to end the NFL season. Very disappointed, obviously, in my Steelers and the way that their season ended. That's a whole nother can of worms with Mike Tomlin and all that situation. Players aren't happy with him. You go back to last year in the AFC Championship game. They don't make any changes in their defense at the half. This year, you basically are in a situation after losing, AFC Championship on the line. Instead of kicking off and pinning them back and having your defense play well, you basically hand the ball to the Jags. So that's all I have to say about Pittsburgh. But man, sad to see the season end, but finished awesome, and that was a great game.
Oh, without a question, it was a really great game to watch. I agree with you there. I'll say this: I was on the same page as you. We haven't talked, in a while. I've been on the Eagles bandwagon for a while now. I've been calling them the best team in football this year for about the last, I don't know how long, Anthony, but last 10 weeks at least.
Well, you and I, Tim, had talked preseason football, how good they looked.
Couple months.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean,
the last couple months, yeah.
Yeah, it has definitely been that way. And I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Peterson, the way he coached that team, because he made great adjustments to his offense when Wentz went down and took in Foles and went to what he did best to make this team successful offensively. And it was really what coaching is about, is being able to make adjustments and not being so bullheaded that you're going to run my offense, you're going to run it my way, and you're going to be able to perform in it. Versus saying, okay, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. Let's eliminate the weaknesses. Let's go with your strengths, and let's make our team the best possible with you at quarterback. And you know what? I mean, they're two different quarterbacks, Wentz and Foles, but they both really flourished under Peterson and what he was able to do. And on that level, I'm just utterly impressed with Peterson, the former Cleveland Brown quarterback, on that long list of starters. Had to throw that one in there. But you know what? I give a lot of credit to him too, because his story is different. His story is unique. When he retired from football, he didn't go right into the NFL as an assistant coach or went to the collegiate level. He actually became a high school football coach and coached at the high school football level, and then got back into the, at the next level in the high school, the college and the pro level, and really, took advantage of opportunities and worked his way up to this opportunity with Philadelphia. And I thought, we've seen really just, I think, the emergence of one of the next generation of coaches that people are going to be talking about on a high level. And I think the Eagles just flat out were the best team in football all year, and they went out and won this game. And I was having fun for the last, playoff run. Really, ever since Foles became the new quarterback, I kept calling him the new GOAT, the greatest of all time, because everyone was going, Brady's the greatest of all time. Brady's the greatest of all time. And I was calling Foles the new GOAT. I called Tom Brady the old GOAT, and I was having fun with that all playoffs, and especially in the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, that old GOAT can still play. Holy smokes, did he have a great game? They came up short, and give credit to the Eagles defense. They came up with that one big play when they needed it. I think we all had the same thought at the same time when Brady had the, maybe quote unquote too much time left. And also I was watching the game with my brother, and I said, this is when this defense has to come up with a play. I said, it's either a 3-and-out or a fumble or an interception. They have to get the turnover. They have to make the stop. If they don't, you're going to see why this old GOAT is still going to get all the praises in the world. And, give him credit. Graham came up and knocked that ball away. And wow. I mean, it's just phenomenal. When they needed it the most, they came up big. And as you know, in championship games, Matt, because you played them, you've seen it, you have to come up with big plays. If you don't, you're always chasing that goal line, and it's difficult to do it on every down.
Yeah, it was incredible. I had said to my wife when they were driving off, in fact, my wife even knew, she goes, oh my God, there's too much time. It's Tom Brady. He's going to bring them right down the field. And I looked at her and I said, they need a turnover now. And then Chris Collinsworth said, somebody needs to step up and make a play. Next play, bam. Tom Brady, well, let's think about it, man. One punt, a whole Super Bowl, one punt. Tom Brady, more yards passing than any other in a regular season or playoff Super Bowl. His arm is amazing. He looks phenomenal. He's coming back for sure. There's no question. We all know what we're going to get when we see Tom Brady, how quick his release is, how amazing it is. But, you know, starting from when Wentz went down, everybody thought Philly was self. I'll admit it. I said, there goes their season. Never missed a beat. Foles did nothing but prove people wrong week in and week out. And the thing I was most impressed with him was right when Brady was doing what he was doing, Foles came right back out and was throwing laser beam accurate passes left and right up the middle. He put that ball exactly where those. His release was unbelievably fast, and good for him. He deserved it. I love that Garrett Blunt and Chris Long were with the Patriots last year. They won the Super Bowl. They come back this year with Philly and win another one. I also enjoyed the Pats did not tie Pittsburgh for the most Super Bowl wins in history. And that the turncoat, anymore, number 92, left the Steelers to go to the Patriots mid-season. So, yeah, an amazing game. Philly never missed a beat. I had spoken with you guys preseason how good they looked, and I had talked with Mark about it when I started my show, how impressive it seemed like Philly was already up towards the end of the regular season kind of good at the beginning. It's just everybody else. The Pats were struggling then, and they finished it up, man. They did a great job. It looked like Minnesota might have a home game for the Super Bowl. Philly had a different idea about that, and I loved it. I thought that was a great game, and you need to look out for them next year as well, because they're not going anywhere.
No, I think the NFC is going to be very competitive. There's no question in my mind there. And Anthony, what's your thoughts on the Sunday Super Bowl action?
Well, the only thing I knew is the final score when I left work at 11 o'clock. I didn't have time to listen to it or track it.
Unfortunately, you weren't able to watch it. Okay, that's
all
right.
No, we were just at work listening to the radio, and we had music on I think she wanted to listen to, and
so Brad wasn't there then, huh?
Yes, we found the final score when I left work, and I called my boss, who's a big Patriots fan, to make sure he was all right. I wanted to make sure he was all right after that, because
and they're going to be in the hunt next year too.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, it's just it's incredible the coaching job that Doug Peterson did this year. I mean, that team, you know, last year you saw some signs, and then Wentz got hurt last year, right? Or he struggled.
This season he got hurt. He struggled a little last year.
Yeah, and then he went.
Well, no, this was actually his rookie season, right?
No, this is Wentz's second season when he got hurt.
His second? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you saw some signs last year, and then this year, not to mention they lost their left tackle and their starting quarterback, which is incredible. You saw it top to bottom. They're probably more athletic than New England. And if there's a team that can give New England problems, it's a team that can knock Tom Brady off his spot, and a team that does not fear him. And Pearson, right from the get-go, from what I've read, just was aggressive to play calling, and the best way to beat a team is at its own game. So Philadelphia definitely did that, getting a track meet with New England. So,
you still there, Tim?
I think we lost him again. Or he's very happy.
Yeah,
yep, he's gone.
Yeah, he popped out. Now, can he?
I believe he can. I think he's done it before.
Okay. Well, anybody
we're down to 2 people now, so.
Well, you know what you can always do, Anthony. You can always go, and everybody else, you know, go to NFL channel and
I saw a couple of highlights, and I believe it was replayed last night or this morning. I I was banking on a Minnesota New England Super Bowl. I thought Minnesota was going to win 2 weeks ago. And I was proven wrong by Tim's guy, Nick Foles. I didn't think Foles could play 2 games at that caliber back to back, and he proved me wrong. So
he's going to be doing well in the future.
Yes. I think he secured himself a nice paycheck starting next year if he's in Philadelphia or if he's a starting quarterback somewhere. You know, because it's not guaranteed that Wentz is back.
Well, you know, they're planning on, obviously, that's something Peterson doesn't want to discuss right now.
Yeah.
Just like after the I knew that he said, I knew this question had come up. Let us just enjoy this.
I don't blame him.
Foles is actually under contract, I believe, till 2021.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean, right, they won't buy him out. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback now, so more than likely he won't be a backup for longer than one more year. Yeah.
No, and
all right, hey guys, are you there? We had a little technical difficulty. And just guys were talking about, and then I'll rejoin you here. So go right ahead, Anthony.
You there, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just, when you dipped out there, we started talking, just him and I. We figured you'd pop back in. Little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
You're having trouble again there, Tim, buddy.
Before becoming the head coach of the Pats, as backs out of the job with the Colts and returns as the offensive coordinator with New England, and most likely head coach in waiting for Bill Belichick. Kind of the same scenario that Bill Belichick dipped out on with the New York Jets, as he was a 2-time head of the New York.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Maybe I
think we lost him again.
You there, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm there. Are you there?
Did you hear? Yeah, did you hear me talk about McDaniels?
We heard bits and pieces of it.
All right. Obviously, I think most of us know. I'm not sure what's going on with this connection here. It was doing real well. My apologies. I was going to talk about Josh McDaniels and what's gone on today. Him leaving the Colts before he actually gets there to return to New England as to become an offensive coordinator there and maybe head coach in waiting in New England. Reminds me very much of what Bill Belichick did in New York.
Yeah, he's got some issues on his end tonight. Anybody, we apologize if you're watching live tonight. Might have something to do with the bad weather we're having.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to talk about is McDaniels backing out of the Colts offer and staying put New England. That's not a big surprise to me. I kind of always felt that he'd back away, knowing the rumors that have swirled around Belichick of late. That this might be his last year, or he might be done sooner rather than later. And I think McDaniels probably knows that Belichick is probably stepping away sooner rather than later, and he has a chance to step in and be the head coach of the New England Patriots and keep this train rolling. And you got to wonder if Andrew Luck isn't close to returning, or if he's not close to being 100%, because you don't want to be a rookie head coach, or not a rookie head coach. You don't want to be a first-year head coach. And I
Did you get my message?
Yes.
All right. It's really going in and out bad. And
See
Okay.
each other in a minute.